Oni, we've been online for like a couple minutes. Good lord. You know, there are people out there who wish they had someone like Oni, let me tell you. Oni and Dragon Blade and a few of the others, they really do keep things running. And they're like, it's really hard to really show the correct kind of appreciation for people like Oni. It really is. Oni and Dragon Blade and Flash. It is so hard to properly explain how much you appreciate what someone does. But chat, since you're here already, can you give me a go or no go on volume level and how I sound? Because I don't. Actually, I can probably find out when I watch it myself. That's not weird at all. Let's see here. Let's go to my own channel. It's gonna be weird. I'm gonna hear myself probably. I hear myself probably. Myself probably. I sound fine. Sounds good. All right. But yeah. So how you doing? More or less. Oh, by personality, I am working on your drawings already. I'm going to finish line arting up Grug getting Yamatu'd, and then start line arting the Minotaur. It's really hard. I struggle with snouts. I don't know what it is, but snouts throw me off. And your comic has two snouts. It's got a lizard snout and it's got a bovine snout. It's fucking throw me off. I'm used to noses. Noses are way easier. But yeah, that plum canteen powder is really good too. It really is. Yeah, Oni, thank you so much. But yeah, so for this one, or the theme is Attack on Tomboy, because I've noticed there are a lot of women texting me, and not in like the ooh-woo way, but in like a crisis way. And I feel like I can address all their problems with one thing like this. And in case all of you are kind of standing, like, I don't know if I should or not, you know, I get texts and calls every day. Like, I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll answer a call and I'll talk for like 10, 15, 20 minutes. Or I'll text. Some folks, you know, so if you're out on the fence about texting me, if you have a problem, you know, my number is up there. You can go get it. I'm not stopping you. And there are lots of people who do text and call me through the day. I don't know how to feel about this, because I have a lot of good advice, I think. People seem to like my advice. And some folks take my advice to heart. And I do get better due to that advice. And, you know, I'm sure y'all have heard me say it quite a few times, but I'm a secret keeper. So in the religion I'm in, I took on the title of being a secret keeper, someone who absorbs secrets and dispenses advice when I can, but I don't tell these secrets. I simply only take secrets. I take on the burdens of others, that way they can share, you know, these problems they have. And it's a mildly stressful non-paid intern job, but you know, it's what it is. But if you guys have issues or have questions, I have an email, I have a phone number. You guys can call and text me, email me, whenever you want. Whenever it feels like you need an ear, but you're too afraid to get in touch with anyone else, I am here. And you're not the only one. I get these things all the time, through the day, through the week, through the month, through the year. I'm a secret keeper. It's what I do. I intake and I do not expel. I inhale, but I did not exhale. Confession booth, in a way, you could say that, in a way. It kind of became that way a long time ago, because I'm a really good listener, and people liked that I would intake in. I apply Occam's razor to a lot of problems that some folks don't want to do. It's really hard to pick the easiest way of a problem, because usually the easiest way is the hard way. Like, say, well, Garbro, I'm 100 pounds overweight. Well, brother, you better start walking and eating well. You're going to die. You know what I mean? Well, only not quite that. But we'll get into it. But we'll do the downrange questions first. I have quite a few. I should be able to open up a new tab. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Doot, 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 doot. 8, 9. I think it's just 9. I'll check my spam folder. I don't see anybody. But even as you're listening, if you have a question, you just send me an email. So my email is robotranchkansas@gmail.com. Pop it in. Even while I'm here, let them come in. I must confess my sins, Father. You're not proud of the artwork you've done, you git.
Just had a burger and now I get a show.
Oh, is that right, Aries? Is that right?
You just had yourself a burger, did you? Was it a good rotten burger?
All right, let's get these questions out of the way. All anonymous. So one says, as an author, how has it impacted your writing when your audience is able to directly interact with you and suggest ideas or even donate towards story details? It's a very unique experience. I know a lot of guys, they are jealous of this because they don't really have... This is not a tooting your own horn kind of thing, but they don't have an active, engaging audience. I actually quite enjoy the fact that I have an active, engaging audience. I've stolen some of your ideas and put in the book. Like, I go through comment sections. I go through all the comment sections and my pings. And I'm like, you know what? That's a pretty good fucking idea. And I'll blatantly steal it. And I'll work it in. Because sometimes a good idea, even if it's not a good idea, and it's actually conflicting with your story, you know, some ideas are worth adding in. It's true. And there have been a few ideas I'm like, you know what, that's a good idea. And I've been kind of mad that, why didn't I think of that? But, you know, it's cool. It really is cool how I can post a video and see the active feedback and go, you know what, they're right. I got to fix this. Or you know what, they're right. I got to add this. Or, you know, yeah, that voice doesn't quite fit. And it really is neat. It's like instant feedback. And I think that the fact that a lot of you have been giving me this feedback in emails and phone calls and texts and on Discord, it is helping me as a writer. It really is. It's like having an instant feedback loop to point out things you're doing well, what you're doing wrong. And you go, you know what? I looked at it. You were right. I'll fix it. That kind of thing. What if I'm 100 pounds underweight? I gained 10 pounds in the Navy but almost immediately dropped them afterwards. Check your thyroid for one. Usually, problems gaining weight is a thyroid issue. Get your hormones checked, do some blood tests, check for Hashimoto's, and if all that's fine, eat a lot of high fat. Don't go for carbs. Carbs burn off quickly. You want high fat foods like skyr, yogurt, and summer sausage. Things are high in fat. You probably get more good calories out of fatty stuff than you would just like eating chips on your couch. Let's see here. So next question. This is a PDF. Okay, this is Hans. When do I get the? hold on. I gotta show this one to you guys. How do I open this without showing the Gotta download it. Okay. Go ahead and show this real quick. So this is Hans, one of my players. Let's see here. It'd be browser source, I'm pretty sure. No, not browser source. It'll be window capture. There it is. So I don't have. There we go. So move myself real quick. Oh God, which one's me? Which one's me? There it is. So this is Hans. Hans says, when do I get to come back? Hans, P.S. It's oddly moist in here in limbo. So I do feel bad about breaking up the party like that, but I was getting stretched really thin, and it was brought to my attention that I could probably tell a better story and give myself less stress with just playing one party per week instead of two. Because you think about it, I was running 2 parties per week, usually at 4 weeks per month. So it's like 2, 4, 6, 8 games a month. So, and I will admit, I do feel better only doing one party. I feel a lot more relaxed, a lot less. I felt really pressure to perform in a way. I don't know. I do feel less stressed now because of it. I feel like I can write longer now. I'm sorry. I really am sorry for breaking up the party and trying to combine them into the remnants, which is going on tomorrow. A lot of guys are out on personal duties tomorrow, so it'll be a nice little hodgepodge game tomorrow.
Thank you for flying Gorgon Airlines.
How everyone doing today?
Hopefully everyone's doing fine. Folks were not doing well this morning. This morning my phone was blowing up with texts and phone calls. I don't know what happened over the holidays, but Jesus Christ, people were fucking in a tizzy. And I got most of them kind of leveled out and back on the right track. Again, a lot of Occam's razor things going on. Yeesh. Yeah. So this one is, so I'm really into this. Okay. So I'm really into this girl, and she's really into me. She's a 10 out of 10 in the looks department, knows her way around power tools and video games, and we love each other more than anything in the world. I can't picture my life without her. We've been dating for about 3 years now, and aside from one small problem, life has never been better. This is fake. This is definitely fake. That's the thing, though. There's a small little problem. Now, I'd like to kink shame here. We're all into some weird stuff, but a couple of nights ago, she dropped a hint of a bombshell on me. It turns out she's into poop. I'm talking 2 girls, 1 cup, kind of into poop. What do I do, guard? I'm pretty sure... I'm pretty sure this is satire. This does sound like a green text. I need some. I do not know how to fix this one, brother. Hold on. This audio by White Bat Audio, by the way. I can't say I've had this problem before, but I have had people who I've dated who have had conflicting kinks. That has been a thing. Like and when you have when you have a partner who you love and they have conflicting fetishes, there is nothing wrong with drawing a line in the sand and saying, no, sorry, I'm not doing that. Now, if she's super into it, you could try and pull in like a pudding analog, pull out a thing of like ultra indulgent pudding, chocolate pudding, and try and give her fantasy that way, in a more healthy environment. But if you have a partner who has a conflicting fetish, never be afraid. I can't believe I'm actually giving actual advice on this shitpost, literal shitpost. If you have so those of you who are listening out there who have a kind of sort of similar problem and are serious about it, if you have a partner who's into a fetish you're not into, you have to not be afraid to draw your line in the sand and go, you know what? Sorry, I can't do this. If you do love each other, it won't be a problem. You can find ways to kind of like, how the towel, they don't go into the warp, they kind of skip along the warp. You can find a way to skip along the warp, and you can kind of get close to that evil, chaotic zone, but not go fully into it, get eaten by demons. So if you have an actual problem like this, just talk to your partner and say, dear, I can't do this, and just kind of lay it out. Don't be coy. Don't be like, oh, maybe one day. Don't give them hope. Don't lead them on. Just talk it out with your partner. Not the snack packs.
What in the jog?
Okay. Okay. Hello. I need you to settle a debate between me and my colleagues. This quandary has been plaguing us here for a few weeks now. Sleep has been lost. Morale has been all but shattered. If it keeps up any longer, we may evolve into a physical violence. So I ask you this in the hopes that your answer will finally be able to put us at peace. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I've been trying to explain to these heathens that according to this cube law of food, a hot dog is a taco, but they demand it as an open-faced sandwich. What is the answer to our dilemma? A taco normally requires a flour tortilla or a corn tortilla. This is what separates tacos from sandwiches. Now, looking at it at a preface, a taco or burrito is technically a type of sandwich, a open-faced sandwich, but they're differentiated because of the fact that he's a thin tortilla that is not leavened and not baked. It's pan cooked. It's kind of like a naan in a way. So in that regard, like a taco burrito is not a sandwich. A taco is not a sandwich. It's a wrong catalog of parts. If you want to get right down to it, a gyro is a taco, and a taco is a gyro. The exact same kind of like weird, foldy, non-leavened, pan-cooked kind of food type. And that's important because it delineates the aspect of a taco or a gyro to a sandwich. Now, a open-faced sandwich involves bread, something that is leavened and then baked. It's the way the thing is cooked that really separates the two. You know, breads are baked. These flat breads, if you want to call them that, which I would consider them flat breads, not a bread of sort, but they're not cooked in an oven. They're cooked on a pan, and they are open-faced. So if you want to get right down to it, tacos are newer than a gyro, and a gyro is very, very, very old. Technically, gentlemen, a taco or a burrito is a gyro, technically, due to what came first, a chicken or egg situation. But we know that the gyro came before the taco. So the taco is not a sandwich, but a gyro, simply a harder version of it. And see, in a hot dog, the same way, you know, it's on bread. A hot dog is an open-faced sandwich. You see? It's what the shell is, really. Tacos are not sandwiches. Tacos are not open-faced sandwiches. Tacos are gyros due to the order of food history, I guess. And a hot dog is a sandwich. It's an open-faced sandwich because of the fact it's on baked, leavened bread. Everyone tracking? Okay. Okay, that's another longer email from Charlie. What are your thoughts on using Legos instead of TTRPG minis? Oh. So, I've seen a lot of folks use Legos in 9th Age, in 40K, in Legion, in D&D. Nothing wrong with it. It's another kind of mini. That's all it is. It's simply another type of mini. Now, usually with Legos, if it fits on the base, it's legal. It really is. There is a whole Bretonian army made up of Lego minis. They're all Lego knights. And the biggest thing is that it is just a thing. It really is. My man likes Legos, so he's using Legos. And if you do, you're just like, okie dokie, you know? That's what it is. Like, I guarantee, not if, but when 40K makes Space Marine Legos, you'll see, more than likely, Lego Space Marines on tabletop. It would not shock me in the least. Also, do you have any advice for someone trying to create their own TTRPG system? Yeah, don't. It's hard. My dumbass is working on a low fantasy colonial America setting where the fur traders' tales from the backwoods are true, and I have no idea where to start on the technical side of things.
How's it going?
Hey, Kalar, it's going okay. I've got a cream soda in front of me, and I just had a big-ass bowl of potatoes and meat. So I'm doing good. If you're making a setting on fantasy colonial America, there are key elements you got to have for the game to work. That's your movement system and your attack system. And the best thing you can do is find a system already made and look at a lot of them and kind of see how they work. Because I or make ours, I was looking at 5 different systems that are all modern, including Call of Cthulhu. And I was like, you know what? I like that. I hate that shit. And more or less, you kind of get the building blocks you need and start expanding on those blocks and making it your own. It's kind of like you're a potter, right? And you see, like, oh, look at that nice vase. How'd they do that vase? So you go to the pottery shop or the potter and you watch them build this vase. And you go, okay, but I want to do this. So you kind of see how they do it and then make your own pot. That's probably the easiest way. Let's see. Guard, while I love watching you introduce vehicles via the old disappearance bit, I was wondering what your views are on domestically designed and produced equipment. I know I've badgered you incessantly on the merits of the Veiled tank, but that's because I believe it will be an excellent piece for the settings. I was wondering what your thoughts are on what you think the ideal domestically designed equipment. So basically right now, you gotta think at it from a narrative point of view, which a lot of folks have trouble doing. You gotta think, these dwarves and the Oni and the Brim-Touched, they're being thrust into this whole new way of thinking in warfare and production. It's not the classic way they're used to. And they have to very quickly adapt to that while trying to get the manufacturing settings set up to make these things. So more than likely, you won't see Veil produce vehicles until probably 3 or 4 or 5 years down the line. It's simply easier for them to go, okay, here's a blueprint we know. We have that airframe. Just copy that shit. Just copy that shit as fast as you can. It's like, say, like, the direct correlation would be us having a flying saucer just fucking land on Earth fully intact. Yes, in the next 100, 200 years, we could design our own UFO, no problem. But it's far easier to go tear that bitch apart and fucking make it ourselves. It's just easier. Think of it in a way as the Veilings having a UFO dropped on their porch. They could just go, meh, put it aside, or they could tear that bitch apart and figure out how it's done, how it's made, and make a lot of them really quickly. So there will be domestically produced vehicles for sure, just not right now. It's more of a battle for survival. Because when you think about it, when the Fae came down, this is further on the books, as a little lore drops. As the Fae came down on the other Veil races and tried to make them submit to their rule, the world was almost fucking destroyed. You know, gods were being fucking hindered. You know, Cringia was almost destroyed. She was but a shadow of herself. Her holy city was burned to the ground. So they know that if we don't get on top of this, we're going to lose everything. Because here come the Fae with Abrams and Strikers and Apaches and all that shit. And they're like, oh, fuck. And they know from the stories how close the bead was to falling off the edge of the cliff. So Booze, roughly, I would say roughly a year has passed. So it's a very short amount of time. It really is. These dwarves and the Oni and the Brim-Touched are heaving shit on top of their shoulders and trying to get this stuff done in maybe a year and some change. I believe the first winter is coming up now. And they're being helped out via, literally, they're able to move this fast, as it is, via divine help. If you remember, Orden, the dwarf guy up in the first book, not only given the plans, he used his holy powers to create the place to make those things. So it's taking literal divine power and divine uses in like basically like for lack of a better word, God mode, to turn that shit and flip things and create something from nothing, just so the Veil cultures get a toehold on how to make these things. So, no, people are expecting things way too fast. Only about a year, if not 2 years, has passed since they hit the ground out of the Veil. And it's more than likely a single year, because it came in via the spring and it's come all the way down to the first winter. So in a year, it's been constant combat for a year, because for like Mind you, that's Veil time, not Earth time. But it's been actually, if you actually go through and read the books, it's been a very short amount of time. It's been constant warfare and combat and sieges for an entire year, nonstop. And constantly playing catch up. Okay. Hey, guard. I have a question about manufacturing techniques in the Veil. See, a lot of folks will fucking wonder about this. Veil Riders Christmas special. I'm a machinist by trade, and these are the type of questions that rattle around my brain on a daily basis. How are the dwarves and elves manufacturing all the Veil Riders equipment? Are they using simple manual machines, or do they have some kind of magic-based CNC machines? Are there colossal assembly lines that manufacture weapons and vehicles, or are the Veil folk just extremely good at their jobs? So this is one of the what I was just talking about. So they would have had to take an entire year to get set up to do this. It took Orton and a few other gods to go, you know what? There you go. And they more or less use their powers to hew these things out of rock and iron and steel. Hew them out. Like, think of it, and put it in your headspace here. There's a very angry but kind of chill dwarf god, right? He's a main dwarf patriarch, and the main dwarf matriarch joins him. And they literally use their powers to reach into the earth and rip iron and coal and all this shit out of the ground. And they more or less use their powers to morph it into steel and then just burst this fucking manufacturing plant into creation. And at the same time, the dwarves are like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, a dwarf has not seen a CNC machine before. A dwarf has not seen a lathe before, like an industrial lathe, or these assembly lines, or these huge fucking arc welders and shit. So they've been having to use all their brain power to get accustomed to these new human-type devices as fast as possible. Now, I thought putting that in the book would be really fucking boring, but apparently I should have, so my bad. But yeah, so the gods more or less got all that shit set up for them. Like, okay, here's the things you need, work on. And the dwarves are like, what the? And the dwarves that own the bridge are all like, what the fuck is this? You know, like, well, the fuck is this thing for us? You know, so they're trying to figure it out. But they're working on it, and they're doing pretty good. Being an orc fucking threw my throat apart. And my final question, how many Veil Riders and auxiliaries are there at this point? What's the ratio of Terrans and Veil folk? Okay. I love all the books so far. I've been around since the beginning. I always get excited when I see new chapters out. Keep up the good work, and hope everything works out for the best with all the problems you've been having on the home front. Yeah, thank you. So, the ratio of Veil folk to Terrans. So there are more Veil folk, more Terrans being injected into the world via another means. But remember, the Terrans are fighting the Veil Rider humans. But at this point, it's probably trying to think of a ratio here. So I would say the ratio is probably like 10,000 to 1. Because remember, it's a small pocket of humans on this huge fucking planet. So it's probably larger than 10,000 to 1, if not 100,000 to 1, or 1,000,000 to 1. It's there. Remember, there are basically less than 1,000 humans on this planet, right? And that's a huge skew of of people to human ratios. You gotta remember that the other races that are on this planet, this plane, are only after a year only just now hearing of humans. These people, these stories trickling out of all these massive machines and explosions and strange magics. There are people on this planet who have only heard of a human and seen drawings of a human. They haven't actually even seen a human yet. When a Veil Rider auxiliary goes to basic, that's the first time they see a human. It's that basic training. Seeing a human to these guys is like us seeing like a fucking Tau or a fucking space marine or an orc. Like, what the fuck is that? You know, we're that different. We have no weird. We are extremely mundane compared to them, and thus we're extremely weird. You know, we have no horns, our ears are round, we're really big and muscular, we're shorter than Goliaths. You know, we are fucking weird, and we're able to click on the monster. Because remember, I've kind of touched on it in the book series. But the Veil folk are extremely non-militaristic. They understand war and why war must exist and why one must kill and why combat has to happen, but they're not like leaning into it. They're not, like, for instance, we'll ballpark it and say, since the Great Fey Wars, there's been maybe 4 or 5 or 6 major wars, mostly small territorial conflicts, that haven't lasted more than like 5 years. Usually the wars on the Veil planet are year-long campaigns to push borders and take land, when desired. There haven't been any 500-year wars or whatever hell, like even just Jesus Christ, the War on Terror for us would be an extremely, if not horrendously long campaign compared to them. So when they see a being that can like wage war for decades and not blink, it's terrifying to them how proficient we are in what we do. It's kind of like a dwarf and a Goliath and Oni could wage war, sure, but they can't wage war with such resolute indifference that humans can. Yeah. So I would say the ratio, like a whole lot of fucking numbers to 1. Fire type Evader. They're not fire types. If you want to know, let's see. I found a pretty cool spider. Let's see. So the Evader who live in the hot climates, because there are ones who live in hot climates, they look more like just super tanned or black, or more fine-boned arachnids. It's what it is. They have different kinds of aesthetics to them. They're not camel spiders. They're more just a desert spider. They're kind of tan, a bit lighter. They move. They don't like sunlight as much because it's really hot during the day. Are the humans being put on a sort of pedestal in the eyes of the auxiliaries? Yes, in a way. Not put on a pedestal, but in a way that the auxiliaries know, the Veil folk know, that humans are the key to this war. The last war was simply swamping the Fae. There's enough of them. And they have the same technological level, the melee fight and the magic fight. So back in the day, in the first Fae War, all they had to do was just swamp the Fae and just kill as many as they could via sheer number, and the gods helping out. With this war, it's simply, these humans have to teach us everything they know and teach us how to wage war the same way they've been waging war for the last 1,000 years with the Fae. Because the Fae also learn from us how to wage war. The Fae have been using us as guinea pigs on the best ways to wage warfare. They've become very acute and knowledgeable in how to wage absolute brutal warfare. And now they know. And now the Fae go, well, the Fae know how to do it, but we got them from these fucking humans. So humans are being put on the same pedestal as like a space marine or a colonial marine or like a drop trooper, like this huge like bastion of knowledge. Right now, Lord Commissar, they're more or less fighting with the regular Fae. I'm actually going to touch on them later on with Ramella in the after action report, but you'll see. All right. One last question. When it comes to the M9, what model do you personally enjoy the most if you try the variants? The Brigadier is pretty nice. Let's see here. Let's see, 92 series. I'll try one out. It had a really nice ergonomics to it, but I can't remember. I think it's not the Enox. It's another one. Oh, yeah, it was a 92G Brigadier. That's what it was. It's a Wilson Combat model. I think the Wilson Combat 92G is the perfect premier Beretta, for sure. What do you think of the God of War series that's been getting traction? I think it's fine. I knew they're gonna butcher the fuck out of Nordic mythology, but it's what they do. you know, and it's fine. I thought how they portrayed Odin was pretty fucking funny, actually. I like he's kind of like a gangster, like a mob boss. I thought it was pretty funny. When they first showed Odin, like, I was like, huh, you know, because you weren't really expecting that. And it worked. I thought it was fine. I thought it was funny, you know. I'm not like mad about like, oh, how could they do that to me? You know, I thought it was funny. You know, no matter what religion you are, you gotta learn to take a fucking joke. A fresh one here. Goodness grief. There's 15? Ugh, okay, hold on. Vader Rider questions. Who was the half-breed son of that one greater Fae that went into rage and glasses bits of Eurasia? Oh. Was he part of the convoy that was heading to Emil Norris, or was he someone more central to the plot like Colonel Tornelis? More or less, the half-breed son was someone who died kind of off-screen, more of a plot device. Because, you know, if a Fae gets shot in the face with a fucking slug by Zerg Company, he's gonna die. I mean, Fae are powerful, but you can't really beat a 12-gauge slug to the forehead as a Fae. But no. So more or less, this character was kind of killed off-site, was killed by Zerg Company. And it was more or less, he wasn't really central to the plot. He was simply a half-bred Fae whose daddy loved him very much, who wanted to go on the adventure and go fight the evil humans. And unfortunately, he met Zerg Company and got fucking slaughtered. And then his daddy went and fucking glassed Eurasia. I mean, it is what it is. On the subject of half-breeds, how do Fae manage to have mixed-race children considering the Veil gods are not in their favor? Has there been an instance of Fae and humans having half-breed offspring via the mysterious process, or is it all southern elves? Yeah, so more or less, on the other side of the Veil plane, Fae have been mating with humans, and they have managed to produce offspring. Now, the thing is, Fae live for a very long time. So if a Fae has a spouse that's not producing, well, they just wait that spouse out till they die and get a new one. So it may take a Fae 3 or 4 or 5 spouses till they find the right mix of human and Fae with the right genes, and then boop, a Fae pops out, or half Fae. And when that Fae finds a compatible human, they breed, bop, 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 probably producing at least 4 or 5 half-breed Fae children whose power could be good, could be bad. A Fae is gambling. So when a Fae is breeding with a human, it's extreme magical power versus mundane, if not anti-magical power. So they're gambling on whether or not this is going to produce a viable Fae, a powerful Fae, or a worthless half Fae. So either you have a negative, plus, or neutral half Fae child. So that's what they're doing. They're rolling the dice on this kid. And say the kid is a powerful half Fae, well, great. That's a powerful half Fae. They take him in, they teach him. If it's like a neutral half Fae, they have some powers, but not like super powerful. They still take him in and kind of teach him, but keep him more like as like a ground trooper or whatever have you, like an officer. If it's like a negative Fae child, they literally kick that bitch poof, out into the fucking general populace. There are half Fae walking around with humans not knowing they're half Fae because they're that fucking mundane. Like, you know how sometimes you meet a person who's really ridiculously good looking, or like, this guy's really lucky, man, or like he rolls dice really well? That's a half Fae who doesn't know they're half Fae because they're that fucking mundane compared to a full Fae, or a fully powered up half Fae in a way. What was roughly said in that first meeting with the race representatives in Emil Norris, where Yule in Ymra? I just met. Oh, the magic lady. I wish you had expanded on that so the audience would know what exactly was told to the race representatives about the human world, our weaponry, and the UN. I left that vague on purpose. So you guys will never know what was said. It's a mystery, you see. But more or less, Yule skewed what the UN was, but we let them know everything the humans have. Basically, you went, all right, here's what it is, and he laid it down to these people, okay, here's who we are, here's what we do, here's what we have, and here's what's coming. You know, that's what Yule did. Yule used fear and truth to kind of push the Fae onto his side and towards being more applicable to his desires and demands, such as money. Emily McCallan? Oh, Emily from the Big O. Is that from the Skeleton Party? That name sounds like it's from the Skeleton Party. Let's see here. Will you ever make an extended map of the southern/Emil Norris part of the continent along the Alterac and others that will be featured in the stories? Yes. So to the to the east is fuck me. Hold on. I'll show you guys the map. I think I can pull this map on stream. But if you guys remember, oh, okay, Emily. I don't think that's what is that what her name was? Emily. What was her name? Emily? I don't think it was. Hold on. Let me grab the book. Google Doc, oh Google Doc. But no, actually, she's not dead. That person, that child, is not dead. Oh yeah, little Emily McCallan. You are right. Damn, nice snatch. But yeah, so she's not dead. That child is still alive. In case you're curious. And thing is, when she went over the veil, she probably aged a year in Earth time. So, but no, she's not dead. She's actually still alive. There's actually a huge part of the story revolving around Emily that we can't quite get onto yet, because that's like 6 books in, like total, like first, second, third. So Emily pops up more in like further on down the line to continue the story of how the veil was created. So no, she's not dead. She's actually quite alive, but she ain't doing great, but she's alive. But yeah, I'm trying to find that map. So if you remember the early games, like the test series games, I have the map to the east already made. No, she's not the queen. That's so humdrum. LOL, she is the queen. No, she's not the queen. Where is this fucking thing? It's not the Paldinum Downs. Where is it? Fuck me. Man, where'd I stick that fucking map? It's somewhere in a main compendium. Let's see, it's in my main folder. Scrolly, 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 scroll. Okay, there's the first map. Okay, open. Okay, there's the first map. That's got Balmoral on it. So where is that other fucking map? Meh. Where is it? Where is the map? Ah, there it is. So let's open this up. So let's see here. Window capture. Look, where... That ain't working. Please work? No? Not that one? How about this one? Done? Gonna show the thing? No? Fuck me. Okay, I guess I can't show you guys, which is really frustrating. But anyway, yeah, so I have other maps. I have Troika. Troika is a whole other map. If you guys watched the Veil Rider beta games, Troika was when they were testing the melee stuff. There's the Redwood, the Suicide Boughs, the Lesser Moria, the Mortarium Gateway. It's to the east of the main continent. And on the map, you can see part of the west continent. So there's this huge, the Moria. It's this huge fucking river that goes out to the ocean. And it's kind of separating these two land masses. So yes, there is more map. She is the Veil? No. So little Emily McCallan is not the Veil, but she was. I don't want to spoil it, guys. So let's just say the Veil took a keen interest in Emily McCallan due to traits they shared. Okay, let's leave it at that because I don't want to spoil it. So she's not part of the Veil. The Veil just took an interest in her, and that's how the whole thing got started. You see, because the Veil has been slowly getting looser and looser from the grip the Queen put on it, because the Veil is technically alive. Booze, Jesus Christ. Jeez. In one of the recent games, you mentioned the Fae got a lot of influence on the southernmost part of the continent, and also other continents and lands to the south, like jungles and other types, where apparently the Fae and southern elves have influence or inhabit too. Would you explain the situation in these lands at the time? Yeah, so I will explain what's going on there. So a big part of book 4 and 5 is the southern lands and the northern lands. So basically, Zerg Company and Cosmic Company are looking like, okay, we have this belt. So Cosmic and Zerg are going to hold the belt of the singular continent. And they go, you know what, we got to go south or we got to go north. But they know the Fae are all down south, sucking up all their fucking power and influence. They go, okay, let's go north. Or we can go down south and try and take that from them. You know. I don't know, Flash. I just like writing. And I like writing a continuous story. You know. The stories will end and new ones will begin. It's not like the story drags on forever with the same characters. I want to have a book series going to go book, and a story will end. Then a new story begins. Veil Riders Rhodesia? Perhaps. Do centaurs cover their back bits, or are they like some weirdos online who argue centaurs will not be and not cover the horse bits, because it's horse stuff? Okay, so centaurs do have more or less like modesty straps or modesty covers. So the females will have like more of a draping. That kind of goes down the back of the centaur. It kind of hooks along the tail. So think of it as like a skirt, like a light gauzy, breezy skirt that hooks around the tail and kind of drapes down off a belt around the tummy and comes down and keeps everything nice and covered. And the men wear a kind of strap, down below that kind of keeps everything covered and kind of tucked up without being like super cloying or hot. It's kind of like a soft, breezy cotton, so airflow. So the centaurs in my series, as well as the Havader, have learned that, some things are just best left to imagination. And even in full centaur society, it's deemed kind of rude to just let it. Like it's kind of like seeing a dude on the subway with no fucking underwear on and no pants, letting just fucking junk hang out. It's like, ugh, dude, stop. So you could do it, but it's kind of rude and gross, Like, they are centaurs, but they're not beasts. And it's considered a huge insult by the orcs to not allow them to wear those things. So remember, in my setting, the orcs and the centaur fucking hate each other. Like, the orcs will wear centaur pelts as capes just to piss off the centaurs, and the centaurs will literally take orcs and hang them on poles above their city. The centaurs and orcs fucking hate each other. And if the orcs take centaur prisoners, they won't allow them to cover themselves up. They want them to. They literally wage psychological warfare by not allowing centaurs to wear, and I do quote, civilized garments, because being treated as beasts of burden. They treat centaurs as if they are horses, just to be dicks. Like, they just fucking hate them, hate each other. Two sets of lungs, yes, they do. So they do have two sets of lungs, and they mostly breathe through the mouth. Through the mouth. Like if they're just idling, they go through the nose. Like the centaurs have kind of sort of larger noses, but if a centaur's huffing and puffing and running, they go full mouth breather. And it's why centaurs can go for a very, very long time. And usually, if they're just resting, like say a centaur's just resting, they don't fully use their horsey lungs. They just use their human lungs, because there's no need to pump all that air into your body. If you're just resting, just that's enough. You're just kind of keeping blood flowing, that kind of stuff. If a centaur is sprinting or running, they are full on mouth breathing and filling up both those lungs. Kind of fuel the blood and all that fun shit. And keep in mind that centaurs aren't as big, like mine aren't as fucking huge as other riders are. My centaurs are more baseline with what they would actually be. Like a palfrey will maybe be about 5'5", 5'6". A draft will be about 6'9", 7 foot, if not 8 feet tall. So it all depends on what kind of centaur it is. What the fuck is this question? Are harpies not allowed in the kitchen over fears that they would use period eggs as part of the ingredients or on whatever they're making as some kind of sick joke? No, but I can see where you're going with this. Harpy eggs are not consumed. When a harpy makes an egg that's not being used, they just toss it. Like they just go, nope, and you fucking fling that shit. Because harpy eggs that are not fertilized are seen as a burden, if not a waste. And they just fucking just yeet those bitches. Emily Bronze questions. By fae people, you also mean elves, anything between an actual fae? Yes. So the fae people are far more ambiguous in the Emily Bronze universe for reasons I will not explain because it will spoil both book series. So are Lamians from a different dimension? Are Lamians from a different dimension from Maril? Kind of. Maril and Lamians kind of share the same dimension, but I hate dimension questions. But yes, they share the same dimension. I'll just say that much. Would you someday make a world map for the Earth and the Emily Bronze universe of the clashing dimensions? I could. I probably could. It'd be a big flooded map, but I probably could. Yeah. Trying to think of how I would do that though. Probably using masking layers to show land underwater, I'd reckon. I have to take a world map, then a world flood map, overlay them, and use mass to start wiping away pieces of the world. Probably. But I can do it eventually. Have humans also gone to any of the realms that open as a way to escape or retire or just look for something new and different? Yeah, they have. So say you're a huge LARPer and you want to go see a medieval LARPing world, they would just go over. Now, a very particular aspect is that you can only take over what you can carry. It's why a lot of it's why there aren't a lot of big things going either side. Because the reason why or like basically what you're holding, and there are limits to it. The reason why Jomesha's monobike came through is because Jomesha can actually lift that bike. The planes kind of it's. I want you to think of it as the planes are mildly smart. Like the plane in the book, I tell you how the planes came to an agreement, and part of the agreement is you cannot take over what you cannot lift or carry yourself. And it's why his monobike, Jomesha can lift that monobike by himself. It's why the planes went, you know what? Give him the bike, bucket. And it's why the shadow creatures pulling in shit is so dangerous. They're going against the agreement and breaking the rules and pulling in spaceships and miniguns and shit. And they're stealing all these relics from all the planes, as bait. Flash, I'm trying to find a modeler. That's half the issue. I just need to find a better find a modeler that'll actually talk to me. Hey Dakota, how you doing? Roughly how tall is Lady Arata? Lady Arata at her full standing height, if you call it standing height, she's a giant centipede, be about 10 feet tall. She's not big more than she's not more tall than she's just long. She's a very long lady because she's a centipede. All right, enough of that. Okay. Okay, that's been an hour of questions. So let's get to the topic, attack on Tomboy. So I've been getting a lot of, a lot of emails, and they are from women, and actually from some men as well, Now, the big problem is that there are two archetypes or two sub-archetypes of person. There's a man, there's a woman, and then below those are tomboys and tomgirls. Now, a lot of people are having this issue due to, you know, just, well, we all know what it is. You know, this whole transgender thing. And for the longest time, you've either been a boy or a girl because you cannot beat your biology. And you have people trying to contend or attack their own biology to what reason I couldn't tell you. And it's causing a lot of problems in their brains. And I can understand that completely. It's very hard to fight what you are. But the problem is we had these things that took care of that. If you're a boy or a guy who did girlish things or liked girlish things, you're called a tomgirl. If you're a girl who loved to fight and do manly things or boyly things, you were a tomboy. Because at least in that way, you can acknowledge what you are. So this is for, let's see here, put my phone. Text messages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 texts. Where the fuck in my email folder? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 people have hit my DMs. 15, nice. Have hit my DMs because they feel conflicted. They go, you know what, Guard? I know everyone says I'm transgender, but I don't feel transgender. Well, there's a reason for that. Now, this whole transgender thing, to me, it seems like people trying to fight against what they are. They're trying to use what they are, some kind of like pedestal piece or their identity or use it politically. It's honestly a fucking mess. And it's one thing you will never beat. There's no thing that any transgender person will ever go against. Now, I want to say right now, this is not hate speech. This is not digging on somebody or being anti-trans or whatever the hell else. This is a call to acknowledge what you are. If they take a woman and a man and put them in the ground, and 100 years from now they pull those fucking bones up, they're going to tell one's a man, one's a woman. There is no beating what you are. There's not. I know 3 of you have had a hardest time fighting this. You will never beat or change what you are. I will always be a hairy, ugly dude. I can put on all the dresses, all the skirts, shave all my hair. It will never change that I am a big, hairy, ugly dude. There is power to acknowledging what you are. You can use all these fancy terms, all these fancy pronouns, but science tells us, biology tells us, you are born a man or you're born a girl. Now, to be quite fair, there are hermaphrodites. There are folks who are born as both, but they're rare, extremely rare. Now, to the bushel of girls and women in my DMs, I get it. I really do. You're frustrated. Everyone's saying you're actually a male, you're transgender. Just listen to me. Again, you're not transgender. You're a woman who enjoys manly things. You like to work on cars. A lot of you like to work on cars. You may even like other women. It means you're a lesbian, but you're simply a tomboy. You're a woman who enjoys the manlier things in life. You like wearing plaid, wearing heavy leather shoes, going shooting. Stop trying to fight who you are. Stop trying to attach these titles and adjectives and pronouns to yourself. You're not a they, them. You're a she, her who likes guns. You're a she, her who likes to barbecue. All right? Stop fighting who you are. You'll never beat who you are. You will be happier. You will be more content just accepting who you are. Acknowledging that I'm going to use a fake name here, but you are Stacy. And Stacy, you love working on cars. You love shooting guns. You own 2 ducks. You know I'm talking about you now because we discussed your ducks at length. You own 2 ducks. You like to go on hikes. And you like to go to football games and eat hot dogs. And you like to barbecue. And you have all your friends in No, I won't say your state. All your friends where you are who keep saying, "Oh, Stacy, you're transgender." Stacy, you're not transgender. You're a tomboy. You are every man's best friend and the perfect wife. You are a tomboy. You are. You are a woman who likes manly things. History is littered with badass tomboys who acknowledge what they are. I'm a woman who wants to wage war. So I will pretend to be a boy so I can go wage war and do the manly things I want to do. But they never like forsook the fact they knew they were a woman. All of you know you're women. All right. And for the tom girls out there, guys, you know, you're a bit weird, in my opinion. But there are guys out there who enjoy girlier things. You know, it is what they like to braid their hair, all pretty like. They like to go wear feminine clothes or tight-fitting clothes. They prefer sewing and less manly aspects in life. You know what? That's fine. It's completely fine. Hold on. There's one in here. He's gonna know who he is when I start talking about him. Greg. That's a good fake name. Greg. Listen here, Greg. Greg, I understand you like wearing pretty shoes. So Greg, who is a fake name, Greg likes to wear really shiny, pretty shoes. He likes to wear a lot of colors. He likes to wear pretty socks. He likes to go and watch tennis. And likes to be a bartender and make all these fancy, like, sweet alcoholic drinks, you know, cocktails. But Greg, that does not mean that you're a woman or a transgender. You're not even gay, because this guy, Greg, likes him some muscle girls, all right? Greg has sent me lots of muscle girl anime pictures. So despite the fact that Greg likes his floral socks and his floral drinks and likes to go on length about paint colors and hates my kitchen color, which was white. Now it's green because I took Greg's advice. But you know, you're don't think you're a woman trapped in a man's body. You're a man who appreciates the prettier things in life. Okay? You're still a man. Stacy, you're still a woman. Greg, you're still a man. You're simply a whole other aspect. You're a tomboy and tomgirl. And I know there are others who might hear this, who might want to hear this. You're not transgender. Don't let these people push this shit on you. All right? It's completely fine, completely normal to be a man or a woman who likes the opposite things they should be liking. That's nothing new. Look at any royal family. That's nothing new. All right? But that does not mean you're transgender. Don't take these fucking hormone pills. Don't fall for this bait where they make you fucking take all these fucking pills and they fuck you up. Just acknowledge who you are. Acknowledge what you are. Embrace what you are. I cannot tell you guys the amount of sadness I feel reading these emails, reading these texts, hearing your voicemails. Like, some of you guys sound so tore up. You guys sound so tore up when y'all talk about this. Sorry, Moonshine's messaging me. But, you know, it causes me actual physical pain to hear you guys like this. Like, there have been mornings where I've gotten this 35 or some shit long message on my phone, and I've sat in my chair and cried because it's like 8 a.m. Like, oh, look, a message. I turn it on, and someone just pours their heart out to me. And it's just like, I can hear the torture in their voice because they don't know what they should do. And I'm glad y'all came to me, at least, so I could just kind of set you guys straight. But Occam's razor this thing, people. I mean, you want to trust the science on COVID, trust the science on gender. All right? There are two. Boy and a girl. Man and woman. There's only two. There'll only ever be two. And if you're a hermaphrodite, man, you are a 0.001% of humanity. And you're the only person entitled to all this shit everyone else thinks they're entitled to. You've earned it through pure genetic lottery. But, you know, I wish you guys would just embrace what you are. I really do. Yeah, I see it. personality. But yeah, it's just I want you guys to be happy. And the only way anyone can be happy is by embracing and understanding who and what you are. And you can't let anyone tell you who and what you are. You can't. I know it may sound like I'm telling you who you are. I'm not. I'm just showing you here are the options. Because it's all nature gave us. These 4 options are all that nature gave us. This is it. This is where it tops out. Because you can never, ever beat nature. You never will. You can try. You can chop off all the body parts you want and suck down all the pills you can. You will never change nature. And you'll never be happy. And Garbro just wants you to be happy. I want you to walk out in the sunshine and understand and feel like you know who you are. And be able to smile. That's all I want. It's for you to walk out, embrace who you are, and be able to smile. That's all I want. A lot of you out there who tell me all the time, Garbro, I haven't smiled in months, or I haven't smiled in years, and it's due to shit like this. And, you know, I know there'll be those out there who are probably trying to hang me up on the rafters for what I'm saying, but just embrace who you are. Don't fight who you are. Just embrace who you are. Just tell people, I'm a man. I'm a woman. I am a tom girl, or I am a tomboy. This is what I like. This is what I am, and I'm not changing for anybody because this is how I'm comfortable. You ain't got to chop your body parts off or put new body parts sewn on. Just embrace who you are. I'm Stacy. I'm a woman, but boy, I like cars. I like getting covered in oil and dirt. I like feeding my ducks. I like going out and watching the football game with the boys. Or I'm Greg. I love wearing bright floral socks. I love shining my shoes and going dancing. And, you know, just embrace who you are. Don't get caught in this trap. The trap's just going to chew you up and spit you out. Don't let them attack your tomboy. Don't let them attack your tom girl. Just embrace who you are. Don't fight it. Don't try and rationalize it. Just Occam's razor that thing. You know what? I was born a man. This is what I like. This is who I am. And Greg, I hope you find your 6'2" muscle mommy. Oh, goodness. No, Booze. So here's the thing, Booze. A huge percentage of people think this way. But for some reason, it's been deemed bad. And I don't know why. It is the most logical, natural thing to think this way. Like, say I am watching a bunch of 18-year-olds dick around in the woods, right? And I'm watching them. And I see a girl in the mud wrestling another dude. She's pinning his head to the dirt, making him eat mud. Like, all right, that's a tomboy. I see 2 other girls who are kind of like just kind of chilling, like, ugh, I hate this. They're obviously regular women, not a tomboy. Then I see a guy who's like, oh god, mud. It's like tiptoeing through the mud. He's got his shiny shirt on. Like, okay, tom girl, I know. And there's a guy getting his shit beat in by the tomboy, and 2 guys are like, oh look, I found a skull. Those are regular dudes. These are the 4 things. This is all you have. Those 4. And there's nothing wrong with them. Now, to be fair, regular men may judge a tom girl. That's definitely a thing. Some women may judge a tomboy. But that's still far better than trying to like play 40 chess with your brain and sucking down estrogen pills or testosterone pills or sex-changing drugs. Don't pollute yourself. Just embrace yourself. Be happy with yourself. Understand what you are. That's all. I have a few more questions, so I got some late-stage questions here. Hey, Guard. So I've been trying to lose weight for some time now. I've changed my eating habits and cut out sugar. That's the biggest part. And my improvement to my health has been amazing. Problem is that I'm really not losing weight anymore. At most, I lose or gain like a half kilogram each month. With my work hours, it makes it hard to go to the gym at any reasonable time, and the most I'm currently working at is walking/running around the block a few times a week. So, you will plateau in weight loss. I don't know what your goal weight is and what your height is and what your actual weight is, but you will have to work out. Eventually, you go to work out. Now, if you can't go to the gym, here's what you do. You get 2 dumbbells, or you find 2 cat litter boxes and fill them full of sand. You don't have to go to the gym, okay? You don't have to do that. If you just do a light workout every day for half an hour using your cat litter buckets or a kettlebell or whatever have you, you'll gain muscle mass. Or like, yeah, you could buy 2-gallon water jugs and use those. The biggest thing is simply working those muscles out, because you can only lose so much weight, but your muscle, you gotta build a muscle up. You gotta get it going. Like for the longest time before I could afford a gym membership, I had 2 barbells with little like weight slats that I bought at a garage sale. I worked out with those for over a year, as well as a sandbag, a big ass log, and a rock. like no shit, I had a rock. I went to a quarry. I was like, hey, can I buy one of those rocks? They were like, how about we just give you the rock? I'm like, all right, sure, deal. I took that rock, I lifted rock, I squatted rock, I goblet squatted rock. You don't need a big fancy gym, but you do have to use your muscles. So if you need be, go get 2 big ass water jugs, wrap some tape around them or a washcloth, and get the lifting. Do hammer curls, do preacher curls, do Arnold presses. You can do all kinds of workouts with a humble water jug. You really can. Do farmer carries. So if you are doing this walking, running thing, do farmer carries or suitcase carries. Get 2 heavy things with the same weight and carry them while you walk. Do farmer's carries. Yeah, so Killjoy lost a lot of weight. And he could probably... So if you want, user, send Killjoy a message on Discord, because I know you're in Discord. I can see your name. And yeah, just do that. Just send him a send Killjoy message on Discord. Thank you. And what's this? Okay. Okay, so I'll send you a message after the stream here. But yeah, so that's all I'm gonna do right now. So I answered y'all's questions, and of those of you, I could have gone in and talked to you guys one at a time, but I figured I would address it here to all of you, my Gregs and my Stacys, because there are a lot of you. And the thing is, I know other YouTubers will tell you, oh yeah, you're just transgender, blah, 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 and they'll feed you the bullshit party lines. But I'm not. I don't do that. I believe in simple human biology. Do I believe in? So I hope you listened. If you know someone who needs to hear this, send them the VOD. Let them know. Like, go talk to Guard Bro. He'll set you straight. Not in that way. If you're gay, you're still gay. I'm not gonna try and set you straight that way. But anyway, love who you want to love if they're legal, and embrace yourself. That's all I gotta say. So I will see you guys tomorrow for the Remnants game. Not all of them will be here. I know one's gonna see his dad in the hospital. One is going off somewhere else, as well as another one. What the fuck? Hey, Guard, am I going to a saloon where I'll be the only Mexican in a room full of white folks? Any tips? Bring cookies. White folks love cookies, bruh. Anyway, chat, I will see you Saturday. I'll be teaming up with Moonshine for a video and playing some Dark Tide. So look forward to that. Got it, bland cookies. Ah, goodness. Alright. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Take care. And Oni, thank you for all those fucking gifted subs. Goddamn, brother. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it's... You get to how many here? What was that? Scroll. It didn't say. Huh? What? It's a lot, though. I know that much. Yeah, 25. There it is. 25 subs. Goodness. Anyway. All right. No raids because I'm tired. I'm tired. But I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. Work out. Drink your protein. And just love yourself. There's only one of you. And you can't re-roll this character. Good night.